Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. And welcome to the weekend. It is Saturday morning. Our teacher for this week is Alan Cohen. Let's get into today's message from Alan Cohen. Somebody, good morning. Happy Saturday morning to you. Welcome to this beautiful weekend. Can you imagine a life where nothing, no event, no word, no action could control your emotions? Imagine being the sole architect of your inner world. That's quite a concept, being the sole architect of your inner world. Is it currently true? Or do way too many things and people have an influence on the architecture of your inner world? Maggie, good morning. Happy Saturday morning to you. So imagine being the sole architect of your inner world, unshakable in the face of external chaos. This is, of course, the ultimate freedom, and the path to it lies in understanding and mastering your triggers. Alan Cohen says, nothing in the outer world makes you feel any way. You decide what you want to feel and then use other people and events as permission slips to execute your feeling agenda. Your triggers are all inside of you. Nothing and no one in the world can trigger you unless, of course, you already have that trigger within you. It's a responsibility of each of us to work with and through our triggers. It's not the responsibility of the world to be less triggering. Just think how free you will be when nothing around you can trigger you anymore. Alan Cohen says, when faced with demanding situations, can you keep your heart as light as a feather? Can you laugh your way through challenges and maintain an attitude freer than fear? When confronted with upsets and the poisonous projections of others, can you remember that all is well? Do you know that you are a spiritual being, not subject to the whims and caprices of earthly tides? The last thought by Alan Cohen for today is, acts that proceed from your calm center are always more effective than acts that proceed from fear, guilt, or anger. Cultivating inner peace in the face of adversity is the hallmark of a truly empowered individual. When we react from a place of calm, clear-headedness, our actions become far more effective. Hey Charlene, happy Saturday morning. Good to see you. This journey towards becoming untriggerable begins with self-awareness. Mindfulness practices like today's meditation, come to your senses, are valuable tools for developing this inner sanctuary. In the same way that we are able to sit and calmly observe the experience that each of our outer senses provide us, we are also able to develop the ability to calmly be the witness to our inner senses. By observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we begin to understand their triggers and ultimately rewrite our feeling agenda, as Alan Cohen calls it. So if you're ready, we have come to your senses meditation this morning, which is simply a journey through our body's sensory experience. You can close your eyes and let's slip away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. deep inhale. And let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, then let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. Our journey today is taking a walk through our body's sensory experiences. So let's start by checking in with this body right now. With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to the space between your eyes, to your forehead. Do you sometimes find yourself carrying a frown there? And when you do you remember to soften? With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to the area in and around your mouth. Do you perhaps sometimes find yourself grinding your teeth? Or your tongue pressed hard against the roof of your mouth? Or your jaw muscles clenched tightly? And if that happens, do you remember to have a conversation with this body? To let this body know that it is safe. And it would be safe to become softer. With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to your neck and shoulders. Do you sometimes find a tightness there, shoulders pulled up high, almost level with your ears sometimes? And when you find that, do you remember to take a few big breaths, roll out those shoulders, and help your body soften? With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to your stomach area, to your abdominal muscles. This is probably the place where tension hides the most effectively. And if you realize that you're carrying a tension there, do you remember to have a conversation with this body? Use your words to speak safety and softness to this body. Remind it that there is no tiger in the room right now, and it would be safe to become softer. With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to your legs and your arms, and specifically to your hands. Because also tension hides very effectively in tightly held fists. Are your hands calm and half open, lying in your lap? We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left. Lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we possibly can be right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, let's take the next few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in. and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body and how softness settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, the reminder is our journey today is a stroll through the sensory experiences of this body. So as you take a deep breath in, as you dive deep into you, perhaps wrap your arms around this body and let this body know, hello body. I really love having you. Take your next big breath. Our journey of the senses starts right at the top and then works its way through our body. first stop is your eyes. For this exercise, we keep it closed and we use our mind to see what our eyes would have seen if we were to open them. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, what would be a very obvious thing for you to see if you were to open your eyes? Now take a moment to study this obvious thing. See it from all of its angles, see all of its color, find all of its texture. Take your next big breath. We'll change gears. This time, as you take a deep breath and dive deep into you, find with your mind what would be a very unobvious object in your room if you were to open your eyes and look around. Find something small or find something hidden. And then as you take a deep breath and dive deep into you, use your mind to study this less obvious object. See it from all of its angles, see all of its color, and find all of its texture. Take your next big breath. We can learn to become really good observers, just as we right now are being the observer of what our eyes would see, without getting involved and invested in what our eyes would be seeing. We'll take another step down to your ears and what you can hear. And with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, bring your attention to the most obvious sound that you can hear. Listen deep into this obvious sound. Be curious about the ability to perhaps hear different layers of vibration within this obvious sound. Take your next big breath. We'll change gears and this time bring your attention to the faintest sound that you can find. What is something that is barely more than a whisper? Listen deep into this faint sound. See how much of it you can draw in. Take your next big breath. the better we become at being the objective observer of the experience, not getting involved or caught up in the experience. The better we get at also being the observer of what happens within us. Those experiences that bubble up and boil over. We're practicing taking a step away from those experiences too. Seeing it happen with a little bit of distance. That gives us time to choose how we want to respond to whatever it is that's bubbling up or boiling up within us. Let's keep practicing. For the next 2 stops, you can change your breathing to whatever it needs to be in order for you to smell and taste. And of course, these 2 are probably the most difficult stops on today's journey, because you likely don't have something to lift to your nose and smell, or lift to your mouth and taste. So be curious and be light-hearted and playful. With your next big breath as you dive deep into you, see if you're able to find any obvious smell. Take your next big breath. And then we'll change gears. Would it be possible for you to pick up any other smell? Anything else besides the first obvious smell? Take your next big breath. The better we can become at being the observer of the experience. The better we become at noticing our inner triggers when they happen, or perhaps even just before they happen. The next stop is your mouth, your taste buds. For this one, bring your curiosity and bring a lot of playfulness. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, do you think it might be possible to taste anything at all right now? Be playful and find out. Take your next big breath. And now an extra dose of curiosity. Would there possibly be anything else? Anything besides the first obvious taste? See if you can find it. Take your next big breath. As we get better at being the observer of our own triggers as they happen, we start getting to know these triggers more intimately. The definition of the word meditation is to become familiar with. And as the observer, we become very familiar with the whole process that plays out when we are triggered. We start seeing that the same button gets pressed by multiple different people, multiple different circumstances. So this trigger can't be related to these different sources. The trigger is clearly mine. And the work with this trigger is clearly not the work of all these different people. It is the work of me. Learning how to hold the reaction I have in a new way, in a different way. Learning to understand where this trigger came from and working with that inner child that still has the reaction. The better we become at being the observer, the more all of these become possible. We have one more stop, one more opportunity to observe. Our last stop is the surface of your skin. Scan the surface of your skin and see if you can find the spot with the most sensation right now. And see if you can describe to yourself the mix of pressure and sensation in that obvious spot. Take your next big breath. And then lastly, let's find a spot with the slightest sensation. It might be somewhere you can just barely feel fabric rest on skin. Or perhaps you can feel the air touch the skin on your forehead or your cheek. Take your next big breath. take just one more big breath together to slip out of the breath holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. Whether it's the mountain meditation, the pond meditation, or any other kind of mindfulness exercise, being the observer of what is happening in a non-reactive way doesn't mean we never respond to anything. But as Alan Cohen beautifully points out, when our actions come from the triggers, when it is the trigger in the driver's seat taking the action, we almost always find ourselves in more trouble. That action is almost always disempowering. Alan Cohen's advice is, action that comes from your calm center. This is empowering action. And this is what we're working towards. Not being the calm mountain that never reacts, never responds. Not being the person in the pond that is so calm and never takes any kind of action. But having access to the wisdom that comes from being the observer, that understands when an action might be necessary, and when walking away is much more powerful. Let me read to you one more time from Alan Cohen's words. He says, when faced with demanding situations, can you keep your heart as light as a feather? Can you laugh your way through challenges and maintain an attitude freer than fear? He says, when confronted with upsets and the poisonous projections of others, can you remember that all is well? Do you know that you are a spiritual being and your soul is not subject to the whims and the caprices of earthly tides? Acts that proceed from your calm center are always more effective than acts that proceed from guilt, fear, or anger. Now, of course, this is a journey that takes time. Embrace the baby steps of this journey. Being completely untriggerable might be far off in the distant future. And the good news is, we don't need to reach that far. For now, can we become friendly towards our triggers? Just decide to be really kind to this human being who sometimes is a little bit too reactive. Let your triggers become a reminder to stop and breathe and witness all the thoughts and emotions bubbling through your brain and body. Experience the trigger not as a failure. Your empowerment comes from practicing how to not let the trigger force the action you take. If you can find your calm center before deciding how to act, then you slowly chip away at the power of your triggers, and you step closer to a life of unparalleled freedom. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for this stroll through my own body's sensory experiences. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to become the witness to what my body experiences, the outer senses and also the inner senses. Take a deep breath in. And as the observer, thank you for learning that I can hang back for a little while. I don't have to act on any of these triggers immediately. I can give it a bit of space. I can give it a bit of time. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the wisdom that becomes available from being the observer. A deeper knowing of when there is a necessary action to be taken, and when to just let this pass me by like clouds in the sky. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being on this journey with us. I love your comment, Charlene. During the taste part, when we have nothing to taste, we can imagine something to taste. I love it. First a marshmallow and then a lemon. And experiencing the saliva, the reaction of your body to this imagination. Our bodies are amazing. But that also gives us more possibility, more opportunity. When we really realize to what extent our bodies could just follow our mind. That gives us new options too. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Sunmary. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Poupée. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, all the beautiful humans that popped in this morning. Have a lovely weekend. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.